to this tutorial on olives. Today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to produce olives on your farm, how to take care of them, and how to harvest them. So, I have already pre-prepared all of the equipment that's needed for today. As you can see, it's quite substantial. I probably spent about $500,000 on these items. I will go through each product. Of course, you only need 1 tractor, so I did go a little overboard, but just for the purposes of this tutorial, I wanted to show you lots of different variations of what is available to you. So the first thing we are going to get started with is your traditional olive trees, what you know and you have seen on all of the footage on Farming Simulator. But I'm going to show you something with a little twist. So first of all, you do need a ploughed field like this, and then quite simply you go to the build mode, go to production, and go to orchards. Now this is what you will have seen. Olive grove. This is the base game. So you have your grapevine and your olive grove as base. Now there is a mod, a very, very good mod. So this is cheap olive orchard. So it's the original is 130. This is 13. Do download it. You cannot beat this. So all you have to do is a drag and drop system. Okay, and then release. Really nice and easy. Try and get it as straight as you possibly can. Okay, so that was 2,729. I am going to show you the expensive version as well. So try and keep the groves nice and close. Okay, let me do it now. Great. So it's 390 plus. Can you see how this is racking up? It is expensive. So with the 390 that I started with, that's over 27,000 rather than the 2,700. So this mod is essential to make sure that your olive trees are going to be profitable, because you don't get too many. I'm a bit concerned I've gone a little bit overboard there. That's a little too far away. I'm going to get a little bit closer. Okay. Is that going to let me get closer? Okay, that's as close as it's going to let me get, so that's fine. Okay, so we're going to start with these 3. So they're up and running. Nice. So they do have to be cultivated, mulched, and fertilized. Now, if you have weeds. I knew it rhymed somehow. If you have weeds on, that does mean that you do need to spray these. I do with herbicide. I have it switched off. So when you're in the settings, you see down here, apologies, one more, I have weeds off. Now it's completely up to you. I have it off. If you do want it on, you go to sprayers. Now these 2 are really good, and they fit down. Where you need them to. Actually, is that the one with the extension? Let me just check. I'm just going to double check that for you. So olives. No, it's this one here. This is the one you need. So this just sprays like a mist. It's really good, and it fits down the middle. The other ones I showed you actually have a very wide reach, sort of 24 meters. So that definitely wouldn't work. But this is great as 4,000 liters. So if you do want to do that, you can. This is up to you as how realistic you go. So the first step is to cultivate. So you grab one of the small tractors. Now you need to make sure it's one of the small thin tractors. Again, if you go, you can either go to the packs and go to olives, and this shows you one which is straight there and available, and that's the one that's in front of you here. Okay, or you can go to tractors and vehicles, small tractors, and there are some in here. And as you can see at the top, this tractor suits perfectly for grape and olive farming. So just keep an eye on the description to make sure that you're picking one which is going to be suitable. There's another one there. I think there's only a handful in the base game model. There is a couple of others. This is in the Antonio Carrero pack, so that is one of the DLCs. And that can work really nicely. It is a bit slower though because it's older, it's more traditional farming. So just bear that in mind. These two are always also in that pack and can be used, but more modern, so much faster. And this is the one that I have attached in front of you. This one here. I think it looks super cool, this one. So what we do is we drive up to our olives. And there are a few things you do need to know. Lower the cultivator. AI workers do not play well in this area. It does say you can hire one, but if I click hire, okay, this is going very well. If your olive trees are not straight, there you go. They stop working. They stop working. So unfortunately, you are on your own. You've got to work the farm. So if you have to be really dedicated to what you're wanting to do and what you're wanting to achieve with the olives. So you go up and down and up and down. So we're leaving that grass down. That actually always stays at the base of the olives. Got caught again. You'll find yourself permanently getting caught on the trees. So we're pulling up the slightly greeny base, which is left. This is churning up a few extra stones as well, so I might need to come and pick those up separately. But I'll have a look at that. I'll see what I can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it here and I will come back once it's finished. And I am back. Now this is going to look a little bit weird. The only reason is I filmed this olive series over a few days, actually a few weeks, because I needed the months to turn around. And unfortunately, my PlayStation seems to have placed slot number 2, or part number 2, where I fit between finishing the cultivating and placing the next mod. So this looks very different. I've built on this area quite a lot, so I apologise everybody. This is really going to look a little bit weird, but I didn't want to lose the rest of the content, so I'm going to try and pick up the best I can. So I've just finished the cultivating, and that is going to just need to stay until the point where it needs mulching. Next up is the olive trees. So to place these, you just need to go to your productions, to your orchards, your greenhouses, I believe. There we go. They're only 1,000 each, so it's nice and cost effective. And as you'll find out, a really great option. I'm going to pop this one over here so it's not in the way of my driveway. Oh, it overlaps with another object. Okay, that's not such a good suggestion then. Let's go here instead. Boop. Okay, so in here we need to place water, seeds, solid fertilizer, and manure. And you can have different recipes, so if you just want to put water in, you can just put water in. If you want olive, seeds and solid fertilizer to get 64 litres, so it produces a lot faster, that is also an option. And if you have your own manure on site, it's a really good option to use manure instead of solid fertilizer. You absolutely can do that. So the recipe is 1:1, 64 litres of water to 64 litres of olive. For the seeds and solid fertilizer, it's less water. So 24 litres of water, 1 litre of seed, 1 litre of solid fertilizer gives you 64 litres of olives. And the last option is 24 litres of water, 1 litre of seeds, 5 litres of manure gives you 64 litres of olives. So I'm just going to switch those all on. And what I am going to do is cut it here. There is a point in the next episode the next part of this video where I'm starting to put bits in to the olives. So hopefully we string this together and it makes sense, but I really do apologise, viewers. I didn't want to lose the rest of the content in this series. But you can see how well we did develop. This is a little preview of where we end up, which is quite cool. Thank you. Stick with it because it's really quite interesting, the outcome. Let's add in the solid fertiliser and seeds. I'll take this back so it's out of the way. Ever such a dramatic truck. Okay, so we're going to start with seeds, because that's what my truck is linked up to here. I only have 10,800 litres of seed here, so let's see what this is going to take. And take it from there, shall we? Okay, so that is another 10,000 litre. So 10,000 litre of seeds. Now, of course, you don't need to fill it up. There is no need to fill it up, but it is good so that you can just leave it chugging away and you don't need to think about it. And now let's do fertiliser. So I make my fertiliser on site with my digestate, so this doesn't cost me any money. I do also make my seeds, but I'm not producing enough for the level that I do need for my farm, so I do need to up my seed production. That's something I do need to focus on. But for now, I've got another 10,820 litres of fertiliser here, and my assumption is this is going to be another 10,000. Let's have a look. Yep, another 10,000. That's okay, that's good. That's fantastic. It's a bit like the open gardens. You can top them up and leave them running and they're always churning out because you've got such a good capacity in there. So that is the olive tree mod, and they just spawn out here. We'll see probably next month now, or by the time I manage to replenish my stocks, we might have something ready to spawn. So we've only got 3 litres so far. It isn't moving very quickly. As you can see, that is pretty much standing still. And let's just check. They are all active. So it's 24 cycles a month, 48 cycles a month, and 48 cycles a month. So obviously, if you put seeds and solid fertiliser or seeds and manure in, you're going to get a better output. So that's something just to consider. Not moving terribly fast, but let's leave them there to do their thing, and I will be right back once I've replenished all my stock, so we can have a look at the last mod available, which is actually a greenhouse. I'll be right back. And I'm back. So I have replenished whilst just off camera, and now we are going to go on to our very last option for olives. So you've seen the traditional, you've seen the olive tree mod right in front of you there. The next one is actually a really good new mod called Fruit Greenhouse. Now this requires solid fertilizer, seeds, herbicide instead of manure, which is the one big difference between those two mods, and water. So we're going to place these down. I'm going to pop one here. So this is 12,500. This one, of course, they're 1,000 each. And one of these strips is 3,000. This one was 30,000, but go for the mod. Why not? We will see if there is a difference between the modded version and the expensive version. When we come to harvest, let's see which one yields the most. That would be quite interesting to do. Okay, and then we'll pop another one here. Fantastic. Okay, we're ready to go. So let's start with turning on the functionality. So let's go into the production chain. And you'll be able to see in here what is possible. So we can do grapes or olives in here. So that's a really nice option for you to switch between the two. So, of course, we're doing olive farming right now. And this is 100 litres of water, 100 litres of seed, 100 litres of solid fertiliser, 100 litres of herbicide, and that gives you 500 litres of olives. And you can see the cycles per month is quite significantly higher, 240, but the production cost per month, 480. That's quite a bit steeper. Okay, this one is only £2 a month. Okay, so we do need to factor that in when we are looking at this as an overall operation. That's significant. That's pretty significant. Okay, so we've put our olives in. Our cute little olive trees. Let's close this up. And now we're going to first start off with some water. Again, this is the first time I'm using this mod, so I do not know the quantities which are going to go in. It may be a case that off camera, once again, that I need to work on putting this in. Ooh, the trigger's not working. Is the trigger point round here for the water? It is. Okay, there we go. Try not to smack into the other olive trees. That's a really good tip there. Okay, so that's chugging on down, 70%. This first one will give us an idea. Maybe it's another 20,000 litre job. If that's the case, I will do that off camera and show you a complete and full greenhouse. Okay, so let's just go and have a peek. Let's have a look at how full that is. Wow, okay. So that's not even scratching the surface. So that's not even close to 22, 4, 6, what do we think? 80, 100,000 litres of water? That's a few trips. But, of course, we can do that. We can do that. And for the amount of money you're paying on a production, you do not want to risk running out of any materials at all. Okay, so now let's go to seeds. Now, this is actually 8,500. This is all the seeds that I have on my farm right now. So I produce these myself. Okay, so the seeds are going to go into this side here. I'm definitely going to need to produce some more seeds after this. Oh, goodness. Right, let's go and have another peek. Oh! Wow, okay. Yeah, so that's going to need around the same... I'm going to guess about 80,000 litres worth. If they're all going to need that much, that's a lot of input. But the output might be so worthwhile. We're going to find out. That's what's exciting about this. I'm going to do this over a few days, or sorry, a few months, and stream this all together, string all the videos together so that it's all one big video. Let's move on to the solid fertilizer. Again, this is what I produced on site, so I'm going to need to do some more solid fertilizer. Okay, let's pour this out, see what we get. Okay, I'm not going to go and look at the trigger just now. I'm going to drive over my grass dramatically, and let's go with the herbicide. I think we can all safely assume that the ratios are going to be very similar of what's going in and what's going out. And this has 8,000 litres of herbicide. Now, I thought that was going to be enough. I was very mistaken. Okay, so liquids go into the blue tank here and solids in that trigger. Okay, let's have a little peek. Oh, I've got myself stuck. Let's just move this forward. Open our greenhouse. Yeah, I was very mistaken. That's going to take a lot of products, and with herbicide being quite expensive to buy, so if I show this to you, so in pallets, herbicide 2,400 for 2,000 litres. Now let's just assume for a second that we are looking at 80,000. So we're going to need to buy 40 of those, aren't we? And 40 at 2,400. Yeah, that is about 100,000. 96,000. And that's me assuming that this is 80,000 litres. But I do want to stress and remind you, we do not need to fill this building up for it to work. We can just put some in, and it will keep producing. So we don't need to go and heavily invest up front. We could put half in perhaps, and then we could put it into produce olive oil, sell that, and reinvest back into the products that's necessary to make this work. But we're going to find out. Let's see which one of these processes is going to yield a better result for us. So this is already up to 154, 55 litres of olives. This one over here is 33. But there is a significant difference, not only in the price, 1,000 and 12,500, there is a significant difference in the input. Herbicide is expensive. Manure, my cows and my pigs are very good at making manure, that's for sure. So I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to cut the video here, and then I'm going to go and pick up a load of water, and we're going to find out exactly the litre limit in these greenhouses. So I will be right back. So, for the moment of truth, it is 100,000 litres capacity for each water, seed, solid fertiliser and herbicides. But look at it churning. It's already nearly done 1,000 litres of olives in that time. This one's done 51. So, yeah, if you want to produce olives and olives fast, this is a good option. But in the break, I also went to go and see whether there was a mod where you can produce your own herbicide. I couldn't find one. So there are plenty of mods for seeds and for solid fertiliser. It's plenty. But herbicide, there isn't. So my thoughts are, cost-wise, this might actually start racking up. It's not like this one where you have the option to pick between, like, whether you use manure or solid fertiliser or just water. This, you have to have all 4 elements to be able to produce the olives. So that is the only downside. And of course, the cost of 100,000 litres worth, well, that's over £100,000 investment, and that's excluding the cost of any seeds or solid fertiliser. So it is, it's an expensive investment, but it might just be worth it. What I'm going to do is we're going to let this spawn the olives at the same rate as what our olives in the trees are doing. This mod, the olive tree mod, and these ones over here. So we're going to see what produces the best. It's going to be really interesting to see which direction is best. You do need to think and take into consideration how much money you have when you're actually producing olives at the start, because each one has its own ups and downs. This one, hands down, is the most cost effective, and there is a reason for that. It does not move very fast at all. It is slow as a slug, but it's going to do the job. It depends on what you're using the olives for. This one takes a huge investment in equipment. And this one takes a huge investment in items to put in to fill up the building storage. But again, you don't need to fill it to make it work. You can see there, my seeds is not full, my solid fertilizer is not full, and yet it's still chugging away just fine. So my job is going to be to make sure as the months pass that this is at full capacity, so we can do a direct comparison as to what is producing the most literage by the time that one is ready to harvest. So thank you so much for watching so far. I am going to skip on a few months and be back in time to do my next prep on the field of olives. Grapes. I'm going to keep doing that, so just get used to it, guys. Thank you. And we're in December, a month has passed, and let me just show you progress. So our olive tree mod, 2,000 litres of olives each, and quite impressively, the fruit greenhouse has nearly 10,000. So I'm going to need to look at topping up the solid fertiliser in here, and I'm actually missing some materials. So that means I'm missing seeds. In that time I didn't put enough in, so I've got more money now, so I'm going to go and top that up. Otherwise this isn't going to be an accurate test of how much is coming in and what's coming out. So let's assume 10,000 litres. It must have just been just shy of it. 10,000 litres in a month. I'm going to put these into a silo so that they can spawn. I'll put them in a portable silo so then we can have it just to the side, and it can keep spawning. Now, on to the first and the original style. As you can see here now, we need to mulch. So let me go and grab the mulcher. We'll also need to fertilise. So I will come back and fertilise afterwards. I'm going to show you a little bit of the mulching. So on the back here, let me show you. I have this mulcher. And it works an absolute trick. I haven't put anything else in that greenhouse yet because it did cost me 170,000 to fill up the herbicide. So I didn't add anything else in, but I will go and stock up the seeds. As you can see, the mulcher just beautifully takes away the long grass. And of course, I'm going to keep on bashing it into the olives. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete this, and then I'll come back, we'll fertilise, and then we'll be skipping on a month to see how we get on. Whilst in the process of skipping on a month, I will fill up the seeds, I'll fill up the solid fertiliser so that we don't get a gap again. I'll make sure all of those olives are out of the way so that more can spawn without any issues. And yeah, I'll be right back. And I'm back. I've just about finished the mulching. It's quite nice, this bit of kit, so if you miss a bit you can just reverse back like that. Nice and easy to use. I've also topped up the seeds whilst I was away, just to get that all churning again. So you can see now, that's now moving up. I made 10,000 litres of seed myself. I haven't topped up with the solid fertiliser yet, but I will do that after fertilising the field. So just a usual fertiliser. You can use a sprayer going through the middle, but this one has a really good wide reach. So let me just show you in my owned items. Okay, so it's fertiliser. You can also use the limer. This bit of kit's really good, but this is my ultimate favourite. It's 42 metres wide spread, solid fertiliser. The only thing is it's only 3,200 litres, but you can add an additional tank on the front to give it extra capacity. Let me just show you, for example, this is an additional tank for seeds as well as fertiliser. And this one is an additional tank just for fertiliser. So there's some really good ways of increasing your capacity. So first things first, we are going to lower and turn on, and you can see how far and wide that is spreading. And that's getting to the olive trees beautifully. And it only takes a few minutes, straight up, straight down. And you can probably have a good few rows of olives and just fit this through a slightly wider gap, or maybe have 5 rows, then a bigger gap, then 5 rows and a bigger gap, depending on what you're looking to do. Or as I say, you could use the sprayer, which fits down the middle, but then you would need to go up and down, a bit like what I just did with the mulcher, and what we had to do with the cultivator as well. So now that's all fertilised. So you now see that's 100% fertilised. Yield bonuses plus 95 there, plus 96, so it's varying a tiny little bit. That's probably down to the ploughing. But the other thing we can do is put some honeybee beehives here to increase the yield bonus. That would be a really good idea. So I'm going to skip on a few months, and actually I'll come back in January just to film to show you that if anything's changed. I believe it's 4 to 5 months, so as soon as this is ready, it's going to be really exciting to see where we end up. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back in January. And we're back, and it's a very cold, chilly January with snow. So I just wanted to quickly show you progress on month 3. So we are still at 100% fertilised yield bonus plus 98, and there is nothing to do. We're just leaving them to do their thing. They're just growing. We've had another pallet spawn here. I'm getting this olives not accepted here little bug come up. It's really odd. And we've had another good month here. I'm going to need to add in some more solid fertilizer, but I can do that off camera. Seeds were good, water were good, herbicide is going down very fast, very, very fast indeed. This has been collecting and spawning as it drops out of that little section there, can you see? So you can see I have over 136,000 litres of olives. 142,000, 146,000 litres in 2 months. That is see, there's that little bug again. Really odd. But that is insane, right? That is an incredible amount of olives. And now, all of a sudden, spending 170,000 on herbicide may not be bonkers. It might actually just pan out, but we'll wait and see. I'll see you in another month. Hopefully the weather is a little better in February. And another month has passed. It is still snowing. Yes, it is. So I did wait the day out to see whether the snow would stop, but no, it's carried on. And I wanted to get this recorded for you. So olives are yet still growing. We've had another spawn of a pallet of 2,000 olives for each of the olive trees. Now this is the bit which excites me the most. We have 67,000 litres of olives there, and I already have a full bag. 2,000 litres. Hang on, let me get the trigger back up. 200,000 litres. So in 4 months, we've had 200,000 litres plus 67,000, 267,000 litres of olives. Now you can see I've been keeping on top of the seeds and solid fertiliser, but it is depleting quite quickly. And I've had to go and buy another transport bag. So I will just fill this back up. So by the end of this, we're going to have hundreds of thousands of olives. And sorry, this olives is not accepted here. It keeps on popping up randomly wherever I am on my map at the moment. Since I've installed one of these mods, it's really odd, and it doesn't matter what I'm doing as well. In fact, while I'm here, I'm just going to show you this lizard bag and where to buy it, because it's one of the best things, I think, one of the best mods I've ever had. So you actually go to buy it in objects, big bags, and it's here, global transport bag. So if you look for that in the mod hub, you'll get it, and it's only 1,000, and you can also get a liquid version as well. So good. This is the unreal capacity at 200,000, but the real capacity is 10,000. Litres. Oh my goodness, we've got 100,000 litres in this bag already. I can't quite believe this. So we now have 300,000 litres in a month. That's in 4 months. That is insane. So what I'm going to have to do off camera, I'm going to need to top up the herbicide and solid fertiliser and seeds. That is not going to last another month. By the time I see you again, these olives should be ready. These should be ready. It should be month 5. So when I see you in March, we should be good to go. And it's just worth me pointing out, in my game setup, I do not have seasonal growth turned on. So let me just show you. I have seasonal growth turned off. So when you are watching this game, if you have seasonal growth turned on, you'll need to plan this a little differently. But yes, see you next month. And we're back, month 5. Our olives are now ready to harvest. But first, we're just going to check the olive tree. We have enough in here for a 4th pallet. As you can see, 3,650 litres are ready. So another 2,000. Another one should spawn, but there's only slots for 3. I kept this all topped up whilst you're away. And let's see what we end up with. 5 months worth. So we know we already have 2,000 litres. Let's see what else we're going to get. Come on. Let's see, I may have some more spawning out. Yes, we do. Okay, there it all comes. Wow. This is incredible. 175,000. There's more spawning. Wow, okay. I think we might actually run out of space in this container. This is incredible. That would make it 400,000 litres in 5 months. So that's another 200,000 litres. Let's have a look what else is here. So there's 435 plus. These are 2,000 each. 2, 4, 6, 8, maybe another 10,000, so 410,000 litres in 5 months. Now I did have to top up the herbicide again. I spent another 60,000, so that was, I spent 170 the first time, so that's £230,000 that I spent on this. Water was free, and seeds and solid fertiliser come from my farm. So my next big step is to put these into a process. I think I'm going to make olive oil. That'll be the best bet, and I'll see how much money I make out of them. But in the meantime, let's get to our harvest. So if you haven't used one of these before, this is the best bit of kit to use. And the idea is you need to unfold the harvester so it steps up a little bit, and then turn it on. And you can see you need to line up the trees. Okay. And there we have it. It collects them for you. See, this is only 8,800 litres. I'll be surprised if we even get 1,000 litres out of this strip. And you've got to remember, we had to mulch, cultivate. The one thing is, these do not need replanting, but they will need cultivating, mulching and fertilising it again to be successful. But it all depends on how much input into the greenhouses. It's quite a large investment. Whereas the modded version of these is not a very large investment now. 3,000, it was about 3,500 a strip, wasn't it? The strip in the middle is the original, which is 30,000. And what was going to be interesting to see whether I harvest more on that middle strip than this strip, which is a modded version. Let's see if we get, yeah, we're going to get 1,000. But remember, we got 1,000 out of the olive tree, 2,000 litres a month. And that was manure, solid fertiliser and seeds, wasn't it? Okay, so that gave us 1,159 litres. Now let's see what the non-modded version gives us. It's a beautiful day for olive harvesting, that is for sure. It doesn't go very fast, this machine, but do you know what? It's good in my eyes. It's nice and easy. Just having to simply drive. So the way that I sort of quantifying this in my head is the time spent, but also the cost. So this bit of kit is it was about 350,000. Then you need to buy a small tractor, the cultivator, the mulcher, and you'll have a fertilizer on your farm anyway, so that's not such a big deal. Oops, I'm getting a bit caught up here, aren't I? Come on. So it looks like I'm getting more from this non-modded strip. So this is the original strip, which cost about 30,000, and that gave me about 200 litres-ish more. 200. So it definitely is worth going for the modded, cheaper version of the olive trees. So that's quite an interesting test. 30,000 or 3,000 and only 200 litre difference. That is a no-brainer. What I'm going to do, I think we're probably going to end up with about 3,500 litres here. I'm going to process all of the olives, including the ones which I get from here and the olive tree mod. I'm going to put them into processing, and then at the end of this video I'm going to show you me selling all of the olive oil. So then you can see how much money we made just out of this process. But it's up to you really, however you want to go about producing your olives. I mean, this is the most organic way. This is the way it's done in real life. And there is something very satisfying about keeping it as authentic as possible. But then I use autoloaders, which is not authentic. I love the production chains. I love getting items into the production chains as quickly as possible. There is actually a new mod which has come out, so I think I might purchase that particular mod and put these olives in. So I'll show you that as soon as the next clip comes. I'm not sure how long it's going to take to process over 400,000 olives. I have to be honest with you, that could take a little bit of time. So out of these 3 strips, we gained just shy of 3,500 litres, and that was 5 months worth. So one of those little trees actually produces more than these 3 strips in 5 months. One of those trees cost me 1,000. These one cost, well, depending on which one you went with, whether it's the original model or the other one. And this managed to do 2, 4, 6, and then we've got another 3,000. So we've got 9,500 litres in 5 months. And obviously this one did over 400,000. So I'll leave it up to you to decide what you would like to do with your olives. But let's see how much money we're going to make out of them. So I'll see you again shortly. I am back, but for a completely different reason. My olive oil is nowhere near ready. I'm not even sure how long it is going to take to process that 400,000 litres worth of olive oil. But the reason I'm back is since producing the video, there has been another mod. We have another type of olive tree. Now, let me just show you in the mod hub very quickly. So it's the olives and olive picker. So this is the olive picker, 6,700. You can, when it's downloaded, you can find it under miscellaneous. So if you scroll across, depending on how many downloads you have, it's just there. Now this gets added to a front loader, so a tractor with a front loader attachment or a front loader itself. I've just attached it to my front loader here. It's a really big bit of kit. I haven't used it yet. I'm assuming it works like the traditional ways, where it puts the trunk in and it shapes it, and the olives drop into here. So that is my assumption. My assumption is this is a much, much, much cheaper version of the massive harvester. So if that is the case, this could be quite an interesting alternative. Now, to get these particular trees, you go to productions, and instead of greenhouses, sorry, they were never in greenhouses, were they? Instead of the cheap olives or the olive groves, is this one here. And what this does is it separates them ever so slightly. Now this row cost me 14,000. So let's see, let me put in some more. Let's go from here. There we go. So that's another 14,000. They do need to be cultivated and mulched and fertilised, so they're treated exactly the same as these. I just do not know how much you get out of them in comparison. It's the first time I've ever looked at this, so we're doing this together. Let's see how easy this is going to be to cultivate. Well, it's working. I'm just thinking, should I drive up and down? So then we can... That's probably going to be easier. So drive up and down, and then if I go turn back round, is that going to pick up the other side and then we're all clear? Let's have a peek. Apologies for my bad driving. See, my only concern is there's still a little bit there. So we're going to have to sort of drive around each tree rather than up and down. I'm sure somebody's got some great tips of how to do that. I'm wondering if it might be easier for me to put this on the front, this cultivator. That might be the case, I don't know. Round and round and round. Yeah, this is a little bit more tricky, but I think it might be worth persevering to see what we get out of it. This is going to be interesting. Did I get it? Did I get it all? Nearly. There's still bits there, but it is saying yield bonus 85, and that is before we end up mulching. So that could be good enough. That could be good enough, just going up and down. We might get away with that. I need to do a bit more there. These need cultivating again, even though that green flooring, like you see here, isn't there. The day after you harvest, you do need to get back on it. You do need to cultivate the floor again. Next day, mulch. It needs fertilise again. You can see it's only 0 or 8%, 12%. So there is quite a bit of work to do there. I could come and pick these up as well, these stones. Yeah, so I am going to skip on so that we can see this bit of kit in action. But I won't come back every couple of months. I'll just count how many months it takes for these to be ready to grow. So we're in April now. Let's see. Is it another 5 months like these? Does it spawn out like these? My assumption is it's going to be more act exactly like these with the 5 month situation. But let's wait and see. I will see you soon. And the olives are ready. I am 5 months on from the last time that I recorded a video. My olives. My olive oil is taking forever to produce. I still have hundreds of thousands of litres to put through. I don't think I have any in there. You can see it's coming out. Lovely. I have 175,000 litres still left in there. I have 95,000 left in there. I have another oil plant on the other side of my farm. So I'm probably going to release this video now without the full amount that I will end up with, which is a shame, but I'll aim to put it in the comments so that you will know how much money I earned out of. There's a strange little spawn situation there. So you'll know how much I ended up earning. But for now, let's have a play with this new bit of kit. Right, let's get in the tractor. So I've put a front loader on this tractor. Beforehand, just out of interest, I did have this on a wheel loader, but it didn't have enough engine power. So I adapted one of my tractors to have a front loader, and then I leased a front loader. Let me just show you. Where are we? Here we go. So I just leased one of these to put on the front of my tractor, and then, as I said, I just customized my tractor. Is it going to... Oops, no, it's not going to allow me to show you. I just added went to the customization at the main buy and sell point and added a front loader attachment. Okay, now I have already seen what this does, and it's pretty cool. So we're going to unfold it. Doesn't that remind you of that dinosaur that spits? I love it. So we're going to turn on the harvester, and it's going to do what I thought it might. It shakes. So we're going to need to aim. Come on, drive. It's having issues because I've got that on the floor. There we go. Is that the problem? Oh wow. This doesn't really have enough power for it either, does it? That's at 0 miles an hour. Okay, so a small tractor is not going to work in this instance. I'm going to stop the video here. I'm not even going to edit this out. I'm going to stop this video here so that you can see that doesn't work. I'm going to go and get one of my big tractors and customize it, and I'll be right back. And I am back with a much faster tractor. So this does require 85 horsepower to push and operate. So let's give this a try, shall we? So all I need to do is get this bad boy moving. I have tried this before I got on the video just to make sure it is working, and it does work. Let's give you a shake, shall we? Surely it's got more than 17 litres. It's only giving out 17 litres. Let's have a look. Let's go to the next tree. Oof, it's struggling with this tractor. Okay, 33 litres. So is that withered? Yeah, so it's only given out the tiniest amount of... Okay, let me just check. How was my... Okay, so yield bonus 85%, so I could have done better there. It's saying it needs lime. So this may not be a perfect representation of how good this can be. So there's another 15% there. But so far, it isn't producing as much as the ones next to us. The only thing which I do like is this is exactly how it is done in real life with these, with the shaking, and like is a very traditional way of doing things. So I'm aware of. Please comment if you know otherwise. I am no farmer. I'm just a mortal gamer. Okay. So I may not even get 100 litres out of this. If anyone else has used this mod and has had different results, please comment. I would really like to hear from other people. $99 litres. Okay. That was quite a lot of effort and quite a lot of money for not much output. That's just my opinion. Please let me know if I've done something different or wrong. How do I empty this as well? Okay, just unload here. So then do I need to pick them up? I suppose I need to put them into a box. So I'll get a fillable box and put them in. Well, that is the last of the mods, as far as olives are concerned. I'll leave it up to you to decide what your opinions are. I think that cost way over 10,000 to put those trees down. So the return on investment on those is worse than these. That's for sure. These ones are still churning out beautifully. For some reason, there's a 1 litre there. It may be because we've run out of certain equipment, but yeah, it's randomly popped out a 1 litre rather than a 2 litre. Just odd. I haven't refilled these up since, and I have hundreds of thousands of litres worth still to process. So I will let you know as soon as possible how much olive oil I produce. But it's probably going to be a few in-game years until I find out how much I've earned from that 400,000 plus litres. But I hope you found this video useful, and I've given you ideas of what you can do with your olives and all the different ways of producing them. If you did like this video, please give me a like, and if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. But most of all, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.